From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, November 21st. Going to get a little warmer today with mostly sunny skies. Could see wind gusts around 30 miles per hour. Highs in the mid-40s today, so quite the improvement over the weekend and this morning. And this morning we've been following breaking news out of Indonesia. An earthquake has killed at least 56 people and injured hundreds more. The magnitude 5.6 earthquake hit near the capital city. Authorities say they're still collecting information about casualties, though the number of those injured is upwards of 700 right now. An overnight shooting leaves a man dead in Indianapolis. It happened just before 1 this morning on Temple Avenue near 38th and Keystone. IMPD says officers found the victim in a grassy area. He went to the hospital in critical condition but did not survive. Police haven't released any other information about the victim, a potential suspect, or what led to the shooting. And today, there's a push to release the unedited body camera video of an Indianapolis man's police custody death. Lawyers for the family of Herman Whitfield III say a judge will consider their request today. IMPD released edited clips in June. Police say officers tased Whitfield twice as he went through a mental health crisis in April. His family is suing IMPD and the city for wrongful death. The family says IMPD should respond honestly to what they call officer misconduct. This afternoon's hearing is set for 1:45. The Marion County Election Board is scheduled to certify the results of the midterm elections today. The board is holding a public meeting at the Election Service Center on East Washington Street. It starts at 11 this morning. Also this morning, a makeshift memorial is growing outside the scene of the country's latest mass shooting, an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs. The gunfire killed 5 people and wounded 25 more. People are leaving flowers, notes, and other items in memory of the victims. It happened at Club Q. Police say at least 2 customers stopped the shooter, grabbing his handgun, hitting him with it, and holding him until police could arrest him. People who were there shared their thoughts about the club and those killed, and even organizations here in Indianapolis are doing what they can to help the survivors and the family of the victims. Former President Donald Trump says he has no plans to use Twitter, even though his account is no longer suspended. Trump spoke about the end of his forced Twitter timeout in a speech to the Republican Jewish Coalition Conference in Las Vegas. He says he's opting to stay on his own platform. Twitter reinstated Trump's account Saturday night. New owner Elon Musk put up a poll asking whether the account should return. The number is more than 15 million votes, with yes votes at just less than 52%. Twitter first banned Trump in the aftermath of last year's attack on the Capitol. And today, the sentencing for Todd and Julie Chrisley, the stars of the reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best. A jury found the two guilty of defrauding banks and the IRS out of millions of dollars. Todd Chrisley faces between 17 and 22 years in prison. Julie Chrisley could get 10 to 13. At least 5 people are dead after the homemade boat they were in capsized off the Florida coast. The Coast Guard says at least 19 people were in the boat when the incident happened Saturday. 9 people were rescued, 1 body was recovered, and 4 others are believed to have immediately drowned. Officials didn't say where they were from, but did tag the U.S. Embassy in Cuba in their social media post. A global watchdog is calling for urgent changes to prevent a nuclear accident. Ukraine says Russia launched a heavy barrage of military strikes over the weekend, with targets that included Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Experts with the International Atomic Energy Agency are set to assess the damage today. The agency called the shelling extremely disturbing and appealed to both Russia and Ukraine to immediately set up a nuclear safety and security zone around the facility. Ukraine's state nuclear power operator says Russia is targeting the plant to destroy as much energy infrastructure as possible as millions of Ukrainians remain without power, heat, or water. In Colts Watch, the old problems resurface in a ruined home debut for the interim coach, Jeff Saturday. The Colts produced the fast start against the Eagles they've talked about all season, only to see it unravel over the final 15 minutes. The offense couldn't convert, and the defense wore down. The Eagles rallied in the fourth quarter for a 17-16 victory. And at least 2 Colts fans left the game with a reason to smile, though. The video and story are from the Colts. You can find that on our website. The team invited a fan named Chelsea to be part of the game on the field, throwing footballs to knock out pictures of the mascots. She won, but that's not the story. It was all set up for her boyfriend, Jonathan, who had a question to ask: will you marry me? And Colts say that Chelsea said yes. And you can watch Monday's game against the Steelers on Wish TV. It is the first of 2 games we will broadcast this season. Special coverage starts next Monday at 4 with sports director Anthony Calhoun. Then the game starts at 8:20. To business headlines, the Match Singles in America report out this week says daters are spending about 40% more trying to woo a mate compared to a decade ago. That breaks down to about $130 every month. Inflation is the main culprit. Nearly half of millennials and Gen Z say weddings and social events are getting in the way of their money goals. The Prudential survey found the younger generations were far more likely than Gen X and baby boomers to say weddings or other events are affecting their personal money goals, which include owning a home or having kids. A quarter of millennials are tapping into their emergency funds at least once a month. Customers are pulling back on spending at Gap and Old Navy, particularly in one specific category that shows just how much families are feeling inflation's pinch. In tough times, parents typically skimp on themselves and focus on meeting the needs of their growing children. But Gap and Old Navy said Thursday they're now seeing less spending on babies and kids items. That's a sign of wide financial stress. Interest rate hikes from the Fed are raising average monthly car payments despite falling prices for used cars. Cox Automotive says the average monthly payment for used cars is 47% higher this year, hitting $551 a month as compared to 2019. And Wendy's will sell a peppermint frosty for a limited time. It's the second new flavor the chain's launched in 2022, and it marks a notable shift for Wendy's in expanding beyond the traditional chocolate and vanilla. Peppermint is only its 3rd new frosty flavor in the U.S. in the past 16 years. Christmas at the Zoo is underway. It opened over the weekend in Indianapolis with the traditional lights, visits with Santa and reindeer, cookie decorating, and more. The extras are included with regular admission. Christmas at the Zoo runs through December 30th. And of course, Thanksgiving is this week. The countdown is on, raising as much money as possible to feed 15,000 families. Wish TV is partnering with the Moselle Sanders Foundation for the group's 51st year serving dinner to those in need. A $20 donation will provide for a family of 4. You can donate by texting Moselle to 317-633-9113. You can also donate online through wishtv.com. And today, America's World Cup run kicks off. The U.S. men's national team takes on Wales in Qatar, where opening ceremonies and the opening game happened over the weekend. This is the first World Cup in 8 years for the U.S. men. 25 of the 26 players have never played in one. Only DeAndre Yedlin was part of the team in 2014. Kickoff is set for 2 this afternoon, our time. Kyrie Irving is back with the Brooklyn Nets after an 8-game suspension. The team sidelined him after he posted a link to an anti-Semitic documentary. He finished with 14 points in the Nets' victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. Before the game, he offered an apology for the controversy, saying he does not stand for anything close to hate speech or anti-Semitism. He also says he should have handled the situation differently. Indiana hosts the Magic again tonight after beating them Saturday night. The Pacers are on a major roll after 4 straight wins. They're now 9-6 on the season and stand 5th in the Eastern Conference. Guard Tyrese Halliburton leads the team in points and assists. Tonight's game tips off at 7. In college hoops, 12th-ranked Indiana improves to 4-0. The Hoosiers cruised to an 86-56 victory over Miami yesterday at the Hoosier Classic. IU controlled the game from the get-go at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, leading 17 at the half, thanks in part to Race Tomplin's top 10-worthy dunk. Preseason All-American Trace Jackson Davis's 17 points helped lead the way. The Hoosiers will be back at Assembly Hall Wednesday night to face Little Rock. And 2 other college basketball teams pulled off a win this weekend. Ball State beat IU South Bend 86-72 Saturday. Butler beat Citadel 89-42 the same night. And today, Indiana State will look for a win. Sycamores play East Carolina at 1:30 this afternoon. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.